The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Authorities were only able to enter one hardest hit barangay in Liloan after a few days being ravaged by Typhoon Odette. Despite this, residents still hope and fight to overcome the hardships brought about by the typhoon. Marlene Alcaide has the report.
Residents of Liloan still celebrated Christmas even despite being devastated by Typhoon Odette. Some residents rifled through destroyed homes, hoping to find canned goods for their Noche Buena. Their own homes were washed away by flood, along with their livelihood.
Pero ganyan talaga yung buhay. Papasalamat din kami na nawala ang buhay sa aming barangay. Makakabangon din kami pero aasa kami sana na lalo na sa nasyonal. Pakinggan lang kami dito.
Since Liloan is a coastal town, families were left without homes as Typhoon Odette made landfall, which was quickly followed by a storm surge. Trees were uprooted and sea stones littered the area where houses once stood. Barangay President Quezon was among those badly hit by Odette, rendering roads impassable in its wake. Liloan Municipal Mayor Sherlita Chong had the road cleared and personally visited the barangay where she was greeted by demolished houses. She tried to raise the spirits of those who remained, but she admits their town needs a lot of help.
At this moment, nag-rely lang kami kung anong meron sa amin ngayon. Sana mapakinggan kami, mapansin kami kasi parang feeling namin yung napapansin lang. Hindi, okay lang. Yung napapansin lang kasi yung mga malalaking like Surigao, yung mga pero ang Southern Leyte parang hindi, I don't know.
She also brought some sacks of rice, which residents like Josephine and Nanay Zozina happily received. They say it would go a long way in augmenting what meager Noche Buena they have. They say there's still reason to celebrate Christmas, even if they have no more homes and are currently staying with a neighbor.
Wala naman tayong magawa. Wala tayong pambiling pang Noche Buena kasi walang pera. Kaya okay na sa amin to para may makain lang kami. Importante buhay lang talaga. Pasalamat pa rin kami ng Diyos na buhay kami lahat dito.
So kahit ganito ang sitwasyon natin, pwede naman tayo maging masaya. So hindi na lang tayo magpadala ng emosyon natin para meron tayong energy para makamove on. So we should always think positive. Kasi wala naman tayong magagawa kung kung malungkot tayo, mas lalo tayong mawalan ng sumalo ang natin, moral. So kailangan nga kahit ganitong sitwasyon natin, may papag-asa pa rin na makabangon tayo.
For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
Some of our kababayans will usher in the new year with a new house and lot after winning their respective LGU's vaccine raffle. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the story.
The thought of owning her own house had never crossed Otelia Soriano's mind. It was just too far-fetched. So for the last 22 years, Soriano, her husband, and their special child have been living with their in-laws.
Basta hindi kami nangungupahan, yun ang maganda dun eh. Diba? Kaya sabi ko, hindi ko na inisip na magkaroon ako ng bahay, basta tama na ang ganitong simple lang ang buhay.
But with one lucky draw, everything changed. In an effort to boost inoculation, local governments have been giving incentives for getting the jab. In Las Piñas, the LGU took things a notch higher by raffling off a house and lot worth 1.5 million pesos from the family of Las Piñas Congresswoman Camille Villar. But Soriano said she got the jab because she wanted to be protected.
Dahil lang sa bakuna, kala ko scam nga lang yun eh. Totoo pala yun.
The 1.5 million pesos house have multiple bedrooms, bathrooms, a driveway, and a kitchen. The only hitch is Soriano lives in Las Piñas, and her brand new house is in Laguna, which is 2 hours away. Soriano is thinking she could have it rented.
Pag-isipan ko muna ba, mahirap kasi magsalita ng tapos ba, basta ang bahay nandito na sa akin.
In Santa Town in Ilocos Sur, Mike Corpuz is another winner of the Vaccine House and Lot raffle, worth 800,000 pesos.
Welcome to my house. Thank you so much for the local government unit of Santa.
Mike is just 22 years old and the chairman of their local Sangguniang Kabataan. Mike said this house and lot is more for his parents than it is for him.
Wala kami naman malaking bahay or malaking lupa, kaya ito na yun yung parang regalo ko sa kanila.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Audit has called out on the Philippine International Trading Corporation and seven other state firms over 13.17 billion pesos of idle funds. In its 2020 annual financial report on government corporations, COA said the PITC and seven other GOCCs have not fully liquidated their received funds. Aside from PITC, the GOCCs flagged by COA include the National Electrification Administration, the Tourism Promotions Board, and the Philippine Rice Research Institute. They also say the corporations still have not returned the balances to their sources agencies even after several years. The audit body directed the flagged GOCCs to submit liquidation reports immediately, liquidate and return any unutilized funds, and reminded them to stop utilizing unused balances from completed projects for other purposes unless authorized by law. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Here's how other countries celebrate Christmas this year. In Australia, crowds flocked to Sydney's Bondi Beach on Christmas Day to celebrate the Yuletide holiday. Several British expats stranded in Australia were happy to celebrate with friends in the sun instead of the freezing weather in England. Tourists and locals also took photos in front of a Christmas tree in the sand while wearing Santa hats to get into the festive spirit.
Well, what more could you want? You've got fit bodies running up and down the beach, you've got the sand, you've got the water, you've got the sunshine. Where else could you want to be?
Now in Slovenia, climbers dressed as Santa Claus rappelled down the outside of a children's hospital as part of a yearly Christmas event. The so-called abseiling Santas are members of a local cave rescue association. Meanwhile, some actors also staged a rehearsal for a retelling of the Nativity with light shows and live music inside a cave. The show will run several times a day until December 30. Now, not only humans, but also animals in Cali Zoo, Colombia, received their Christmas treats this holiday season. Lemurs, monkeys, bears, zebras, and many more enjoyed their favorite food this Christmas. Zoo officials said that this is a great way to make feeding time interesting for the animals and get them into the festive spirit as well. Now, the world's largest space telescope launched on Saturday in a quest to seek out light from the first stars and galaxies. The $10 billion observatory will reach its destination after a month. Details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
And we have engine start. And liftoff.
Décollage.
Décollage, liftoff from a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself. James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe. Punching a hole through the clouds, 20 seconds into the flight, good pitch program reported.
Trajectoire est nominale.
Vehicle performance is nominal. The Ariane 5 rocket continues to fly uphill in nominal fashion.
So let's continue the mission.
And Raphael, this is a view from the upper stage camera called the Vicky Cam, looking back at the James Webb Space Telescope. This is on about a 20-second delay or so because of the way the imagery is processed here in the control room. There's your telescope ready to unfurl its wings, basically. We're 13 minutes, 55 seconds into the flight. Jean-Luc Boyer, the range operations manager, continues to report a nominal performance for James Webb. And again, Luce Fabregat from the European Space Agency, how is this trajectory? And there is the view from the upper stage camera on the Ariane 5 looking at the James Webb Space Telescope as it moves gently away from its launch vehicle.
Fantastic pictures of this telescope.
Go Webb, go Webb.
Yes, go Webb.
Ironically enough, as we marvel on this view from the upper stage camera, this will be humanity's last view of the James Webb Space Telescope as it moves to its workplace about 1 million miles away from Earth.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. In an unusually personal Christmas message to the nation, Queen Elizabeth admits it's tough to celebrate Christmas without hearing Prince Philip's laugh. In South Korea, 3 members of the boy group BTS tested positive of COVID-19. And the PBA action continues today as Terra Firma Jeep faces San Miguel at 4 p.m. while the TNT Tropang Giga will battle it out with rain or shine for the banner event at 6:45 tonight. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.